Okay, so it looks like there's going to be a ceasefire happening soon. And it is in large part due to Trump. Now, I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm a logical and rational person. And I'm willing to give credit where credit is due. And this is because of Trump. Had Kamala Harris been elected, she would have just continued the genocidal, unconditional support for Israel as Biden did, or I should say, as the Jewish supremacists in Biden's cabinet did, because they're the ones who are really running the show, like Anthony Blinken. But of course, liberals and Sam Seder refuse to acknowledge these objective facts because they've abandoned reality. But let's take a look a little bit of Sam Seder's little video about the ceasefire.
It appears that the ceasefire is about to be signed. People should keep in mind what kind of failure this has been for the Biden administration. We've heard now from Jacob Lew, the ambassador to Israel, and from the United States. Before people start sending me emails like, why aren't you crediting Biden? He's been working all night.
People are saying that?
Well,
people need to.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Biden wants to take credit for this ceasefire deal, but it has absolutely nothing to do with him because he had been supporting the genocidal regime this entire time, the Jewish supremacist regime. And Sam Seder wanted us to vote for Biden and then his successor, Kamala Harris. And I refused to do it, and I rubbed it in the face of Jewish supremacists and liberal moron, Lucas Dicus, and his little liberal buddy, Brad from Ohio. Now, Lucas Dicus and Brad conspired with a Jewish supremacist and convicted felon named Adam Chebot-Goldman. And I made plenty of videos exposing Adam Chebot-Goldman for being exactly what I described it as, which is a Jewish supremacist and a convicted felon who went to prison and sent child porn to people. So this is what liberals are really like. It's a lot worse than that. Lucas Dicus actually is a very hateful person who hates retarded people, and if you're offended by that, well, those are his words, not mine. So take that as you will. That's what liberals are really like. Liberals are not really all that dissimilar from conservatives. The only real difference is that they say it behind people's backs instead to their face. So, yeah. But one of the other interesting things I found about these liberals is they all went mask off after Kamala Harris lost the election because they were butthurt that people like me wouldn't vote for genocide. Yeah, that's the thing. And then they started hoping Trump would turn Gaza into a parking lot. So that's what these racist scumbags are really like. And they really believe that Trump was going to actually be worse. And at the time, I didn't know. That wasn't really the point of not voting for Kamala Harris. The point of not voting for Kamala Harris was to punish the Democrats. But as time has proven, and like I said, this is still tentative, but assuming everything goes through, there's going to be a ceasefire, and it is because of Trump. It is because of Trump, because Trump shared a video that was very critical of Bibi Netanyahu, and that's putting it nicely. The guy in the video, I'm forgetting his name now, but you know what? It's Jeffrey Sachs. Jeffrey Sachs was lambasting Bibi and said that Bibi was getting us to fight Israel's wars for it, and that's why they're trying to drag the United States into a war with Iran now. And Trump shared this on Truth Social, and Bibi was shocked and appalled but he shouldn't have been because it's not a secret that Trump does not like Bibi. So, let me show you this video, which also shows you a little bit about Trump's role in getting the ceasefire across the finish line.
Closely. Haaretz reported last Friday evening, okay, which is the start of the Sabbath, Yom HaSebet in Arabic, right? We know that the Jews supposedly do not do anything on the Sabbath. Okay, Netanyahu's not supposed to be doing anything on the Sabbath, no electricity, no work, no blah, blah, blah. Last Friday evening, Stephen Witkoff, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's Middle East envoy, called from Qatar to tell Benjamin Netanyahu's aides that he would be coming to Israel the following afternoon. So I'm going to be there Saturday afternoon before the end of the Sabbath. The aides politely explained that it was the middle of the Sabbath and the prime minister would gladly see him Saturday night. Well, Witkoff's blunt reaction took them by surprise. He explained to them in quote-unquote salty English that the Sabbath was of no interest to him. His message was loud and clear. Thus, in an unusual departure from official practice, the prime minister showed up at his office for an official meeting with Witkoff, who then returned to Qatar to seal the deal. And that's why Mel was tweeting. Witkoff said, cut this shit, all right? We all know Bibi's flipping light switches on Saturday. Tell him to get his ass to the office, okay? Because a convenient little power play by Netanyahu. Oh, no, I can't make it. And he's like, bro, you don't practice. You're an atheist. Stop bullshitting me. Get your ass to the office. I got some business to do with you, okay? Trump is back, baby. America first. We're not playing no games. Get your ass, your genocidal, maniacal ass, back to the office. Stop bullshitting me. You don't pray. You don't practice. Okay, we know you diddle children. Get to the office now. We got to talk. This is the guy. Okay, apparently he was an investor, like a very wealthy investor, somehow connected to Trump. He became the Middle East envoy. So this is the guy, Witkoff, who told Netanyahu, yeah, cut the bullshit, bro. Trump's Middle East envoy forced Netanyahu to accept a Gaza plan he had repeatedly rejected. Israeli sources say that the involvement of the incoming U.S. administration, led by Trump's aggressive Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff, revived hostage talks with Hamas, while Netanyahu's propaganda machine claims that Trump has left him no choice. What happens inside his coalition will determine whether the prime minister approves the deal. Okay, Zionists are losing their mind over this. They feel they're not used to being put in their place. Okay, they're used to getting whatever they want, and that's going to be expressed here by this guy. So, just in, Netanyahu's mouthpiece, Erel Segel, we are the first to pay the price for Trump's election. We are being forced into this deal. I don't think this is what we planned or expected. We thought we would take control of the northern Gaza Strip and prevent humanitarian aid from being brought in. We thought we'd get away with genocide. We thought we were going to do crazier stuff. And it's not fair, okay?
So there you go. I mean, I think that pretty much says it all. But you think these brain-dead liberals who went mask off... Oh, by the way, I want to credit this guy properly. This is Propaganda and Company. Check out his videos. He's great. Does lots of great stuff. But yeah, do you think... You think these brain-dead liberals who are really Jewish supremacists would credit Trump for anything, even when he actually does something right? Look, I'll criticize Trump any day when he does something wrong, but I'll praise him when he does something right. And keep in mind, Sam Seder was telling us to vote for Trump. Oh, excuse me, telling us to vote for Biden, and then her successor Kamala Harris. He was saying that Trump was going to be exponentially worse on this and used incredibly bad arguments. No, of course not. So I commented saying as much, and you wanted us to vote for him. I'm not wasting my time watching this entire video. I already know you didn't credit Trump for getting this accomplished. All he did was share one video criticizing Bibi, and he managed to get this accomplished. I hated Trump back during his first term, but he sent a message to Bibi that was loud and clear, that unconditional support for Israel wasn't going to happen. And we got a ceasefire. He absolutely deserves credit for this. And it needs to be said that this wouldn't have happened if Kamala Harris won. And this fucking dumbass, Sam Seder, who's really a Jewish supremacist, I made a video exposing him as much. He never criticizes David Pakman, who is a complete Jewish supremacist. He never criticizes Ben Glib, and I didn't hear him criticize Ezra Klein. These are all Jewish supremacists on the left. So if you aid and abet them by not criticizing them, then I have to believe that you're one of them. And of course, the liberal, brain-dead liberal idiots who went mask off after Kamala Harris lost and were wishing and hoping that Trump would commit genocide even more. They came out of the woodwork, and they became so butthurt by my comment. So this guy, Aban Underground, said, "You're drooling if you think Trump should be credited with this. LMAO, your," and he uses the wrong form of your, "political knowledge is as shallow as a puddle." So I originally responded to this in a different way, but because Sam Seder has a very aggressive spam, auto spam filter, it got, spam filtered. So I just said ad hominem fallacy doesn't help that you don't know the difference between your and your. Yeah, I mean, when you're dealing with these brain dead liberal Jewish supremacists, they don't make arguments. And you're going to notice that being a theme as I go through all this. Oh God, you're one of those people. You mean a person that's logical and rational? So the first comment was made by this guy, Aban Underground, who, surprise, surprise, made his account only a few days after October 7th of 2023. So that to me just shows me that this guy's really a Jewish supremacist. Almost certainly a Jew that supports the genocide. And then you got this Majestic Moose. Yeah, you know what? I'm not God's chosen people, and I'm glad I'm not. And I don't want to be part of the chosen. So this guy, like, you'll notice that all of these accounts are empty, and they all just post ad hominems. So I say that's also an ad hominem fallacy. Ad hominems are a sign of anger and frustration when you can't construct a cogent argument. This other person, Sendry R, again, pretty much empty, right? Oh, it's not coming up. There we go. Sendry R, pretty much an empty channel. Sendry R says, "I think you're being very naive on purpose, thinking that sharing a video led to this peace treaty. Nobody with a brain would believe that." Actually, yeah, that's exactly what it was. Plus the other things I mentioned. But yeah, it turned out that something as simple as sharing a video, which sent a message to Bibi, and it was loud and clear, that absolutely is what made this ceasefire, again, assuming it happens, happen. Again, I tried to respond to it with a little bit more, but it's Sam Seder. His spam filter basically just blocks everything. So I just put more ad hominems, you bore me, liberal. But like, I can't even post a cogent response to these idiots without making a video, which is why I'm making this video. A band says he thinks I'm a literal pottery. Is that like a trolley kind of response? Yeah, I do think you're a liberal, but I also think you're a Jew. The Majestic Moose says, "Whoa there, Tim Pool." No, Tim Pool is a Jewish supremacist, or really I should just say a grifter that gets paid to be a Jewish supremacist. None of us are angry. Yeah, you are angry. Just because we're calling you a dumbass, well, I'm calling you a dumbass too, does not mean we are angry. And I respond, they say, "Tell me more about how you're not a liberal," to Aban Underground. And I said, you mad, because that's what these liberal morons do. They don't make any arguments, not a single argument. And all of this, and these fucking brain dead liberals wonder why they lost the election. I am so glad Kamala Harris lost the election. This one guy, LoveSent46, said, "Agreed, hate Trump all you want. Kamala would have been same old, same old." Yeah, finally someone who isn't brain dead. This is Sam Seder's audience now. A bunch of brain dead liberals who they don't think coherently anymore. They are just stuck with Trump derangement syndrome. And, what's sickening is that this fool was trying to get us to vote for Kamala Harris. And if she won, this ceasefire would not have happened, and the unconditional support for Israel would have continued, unabated. And then we would have to deal with these brain dead Jewish supremacist liberals. And they're mad. And I'm glad. And I hope a Democrat never, ever wins ever again for presidency. And I'm never going to vote for Democrat ever again. You people are scum to me. When you have Jewish supremacist liberals like Lucas Dicus who aided and abetted, doxed me and my family, to Adam Chebot-Goldman, who is a convicted felon and supports genocide, and you have Brad from Ohio, the same, another goddamn liberal. This is the true face of liberals. They're racist scum, Jewish supremacist scum. The funny thing is, he used to make fun of Jews all the time behind their backs, which is hilarious. But and we would have a good laugh about it because that's what liberals really do. They will say all kinds of stuff, racist things, but the only difference is they say it behind people's backs. But that's a story for another time. And I will be making a video exposing that because I can't forgive. I will never forgive liberal scum like this for what you did. It's a shame. But I'm getting the last laugh. Trump really is actually better, at least on this one thing, than Kamala Harris or the Democrats ever would have been.